Hello, my name's Mike. Welcome to the tonight's episode of Fallen Dragons. As I said, my name's Mike. I'll be your DM for the night, and it's been a week or so since we did our last game. We have all three of our players tonight, which is good. So I'll let them introduce who they are and who their character is and what their character does. So well, I'll start to my left with Patrick,
Hi, I'm Patrick, and I'm playing Lucid Reverie, the Storm Clan.
and then we'll go above him to Robin,
Hi, I'm Robin. I'm playing Talith Dorashel. She is a bronze dragonborn fighter.
and then above me to Melody.
I'm Melody. I play Nala Firestone. I am a wizard, golden bronze dragonborn.
So you are a blade singer wizard, which
Yeah, blade singer wizard.
which means you can use swords too.
Yep.
Which comes in handy when all your spell slots go away.
Yes.
So, um, the last time we played, Lucid and Talith were in uh, Belmave, the capital of uh, Ostran. Ostran. Ah, can't even pronounce my own names. Okay. Um, you had just partaken of the royal festival where the king had announced that they are building toward war with their southern neighbors. Um, Everybody in the city basically got blitzed because this was a 2 or 3 day festival, and by the end of it, everybody was toasted, including the two of you. Uh, you had done some research in the library and found out there wasn't really much research to be had. Um,
Gotta come back to write about it.
this is true uh, because Talith was getting suspicious of the wizard who sent you there, only to find out that there wasn't much written about him. Anyway, there was more written on the crown itself, but people think that that is a myth or legend and they don't really believe it's there. So, um, we'll start tonight with you and Talith waking up in your perspective rooms at the inn with sunlight blaring through your windows at about 6:30 in the morning, and you are both experiencing the worst hangover you've ever had in your life. So, what do the two of you do?
Well, we were going to get up at the crack of dawn, but make that the crack of 9 o'clock. I go back to sleep.
Yeah, I turn away from the window and pull the covers over my head.
She'll understand.
Um, give both of you need to give me Constitution rolls to check the level of hangover, how you're handling.
16.
I got a 5,
you're
which is not the lowest possible roll.
you're not handling this well at all. You're you're on the borderline of basically vomiting all over the bed you're in. Um,
Send help.
you're not used. You're nowhere close to used to handling the amount of alcohol you drank last night.
Call the paramedic.
You are the paramedic. You're
God
the
damn it.
you're the cleric in the group. This is not good.
Don't be fake.
This is not good. Uh, how did Taylor do?
16.
You're seriously hungover, but you're not about to lose everything in your stomach. You do wish the uh, Japanese drum band in your head would stop, but you can't convince them to do that. So while the two of you decide that you're gonna sleep, or at least try to sleep for another couple of hours, we head over across town to a small apartment in the central district, a couple of blocks from the library, where we see our other bronze dragonborn. It's about 7 o'clock a.m., and you have to be at work by 9 in the library. So what do you do?
Go back to bed for an hour.
These people
True
are,
to form.
these people are not conscientious at all. All they want to do is sleep.
Well, to be fair, I'm hungover.
I was going to say, what would you want to do if you had a hangover?
I
This
don't
day
get
is canceled.
I don't get hangovers, so I don't. DMs can erase hangovers fairly quickly, so I don't get them. Um, so, as the three of you try to sleep the morning away,
The morning, the evening, the next morning.
uh, Melody, what was your character's name again?
Nala Firestone.
Nala, outside your door or outside your window, you hear a huge noise. It sounds like people arguing and fighting, and you hear a scream. Are you gonna go check it out, or are you gonna try to ignore it completely?
Try to ignore it.
Um, wait, what would that be? I guess it'd be another Constitution roll. Give me a roll to see if you can actually ignore it and go back to sleep.
Natural 20 and 23.
Uh, Whatever it is, you're like, I don't care. I'm sleeping.
Someone's getting married.
Actually, okay, let's see here. You actually sleep until 8 o'clock. Now, actually, give me a constitution check to see if you wake up by 8 o'clock. Or do you oversleep and are you late for work?
18. 18.
You actually get up. As you get ready for work, you hear more of the yelling and screaming that you heard earlier. There's definitely something going on outside your apartment that's been going on for an hour now. Uh, but you only have an hour to get ready and make your way the 3 blocks to the library where you have to start work at 9. So while you're getting ready, are you're still ignoring all the noise outside, and you're
Well, I
just
hear it, but it's like, I don't know what I can do about it. I gotta go work.
yeah. So, back over at the inn, um, as people have gotten up and have had breakfast and started their day, and you hear more noise going on, but you guys sleep for another hour, and then uh, it gets to be around 9 o'clock, and there's a knock on both of your doors. Um, what do you guys do?
I'll ask who it is.
Um, It's a male voice. It's the bartender from downstairs. Um, says, "My name's Brendan. I'm the bartender. Um, we need to know if you're paying for another day or if you're giving the key back."
Silence.
We're supposed to head off to the wastelands today. I don't know if we'll be back, so I guess I'll tell him that I'll bring the key down when I get up and give it back.
Okay. So, um, he's like, "If you could do that fairly soon so we know, so we can rent the room again if necessary."
Okay, give me a minute. And can you not talk so loud, please?
Well, he's talking through a door. It's going to be louder.
My head
It
doesn't
has
care.
it has to be louder than normal. Yeah. You would
My
prefer you would prefer him not to use his other key and just walk in, right?
my passive perception's a 17. You can whisper. Whisper. I can hear you.
So you, you hear footsteps as he walks down the hall. Now, Lucid, a couple of minutes after that, you hear a knock on your door. And it's the same male voice. And he's like, "Hello, it's the bartender. Uh, we need to know if you're renting your room for another day. If not, we need the key back."
I'll pay for the day just for late checkout. Leave me alone.
Like, okay, when you come down, that'll be two more gold.
Cool.
Uh, and he walks away. So are the two of you just going to spend your day, completely hungover and unable to move, or what?
Well, I have to get up and bring the key down, so I'll do that. But yeah, I'm
At least the
not.
morning.
I'm not in the best mood. Don't fuck with a hungover dragonborn, man.
So,
Hmm.
So I'll take the key down and then I'll just sit down at a table at the end and kind of put my on the table.
Eventually wake up and get going. Head down there, find the asleep dragonborn.
the waitress comes over and goes, "One, that'll be two gold for your room. And two, do you guys want any breakfast?"
No,
Yeah,
thank
breakfast. Give me a chicken.
you. Shit.
An entire chicken.
Yeah, roasted you something. You know best.
Okay, we can do that. Uh, would you like anything to go with your roasted whole chicken?
Beans.
Okay.
Lots of beans.
Any anything to drink to go with your food?
Well, no.
No. Okay. I will be back in a little bit with your food. And the
Chicken
waitress
wings.
and the waitress takes the order back into the kitchen.
I pour coffee from our endless flask of coffee that we have. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot we had an endless flask of coffee.
Oh, you changed the coffee, huh?
No, we picked one up earlier. I seem to remember that at one point we did buy an endless flask of
So
coffee.
now you have rum, coffee, and ice cream.
Yeah.
By our powers combined.
Pretty soon you can get an endless flask of food and you won't have to order anything at the bar anymore. Uh,
Our quest to get a replicator. That's
well,
what this has become.
well, actually, if you survive and get the box that you're having made, you'll be able to create food whenever you want it. You just have to keep the box handy, which is a bit of a problem. Uh,
Don't worry, we'll figure out a way to miniaturize it. Put it in a bag of holding.
that's where, see, that's where the bear comes in handy. Uh, so
Put a bear in the bag of holding?
no, he pulled the wagon that had the box in it,
Ah,
'cause you guys still have a wagon.
that's right.
You just don't have the bear that was pulling it currently. Um,
It seems like a flaw in our design.
yeah, you might think about buying a horse or two.
Or a small dragon.
Oh,
Or
dragon.
or small dragon.
You, you'd have to, even if you could get a small dragon friendly enough to do so, you'd probably have to pay him pretty well.
We
And,
just have to
and
buy
the
him
thing
from
would
the
be
king.
flying, not going on the ground. You would be flying through the air with a wagon.
Dragons can walk. They have a walk speed.
Yeah, they're just slower than if they're flying.
This is true.
But they're still, however, their walk speed is still quicker than yours. So,
And they have a run speed.
so he could still outrun you with a wagon, but uh, which would look really strange if you think about it. But so while you're waiting for your food and Talith is trying to become conscious, or at least partially conscious, Nala is finally ready for work and starts to head out the door. And what you see in front of your door is not what you wanted to see when you woke up this morning.
Is it a super midi?
There's two partial humanoid creatures laying in the street in front of your door. And and when I say partial, I mean about a quarter of both of them are missing.
Does it smell? It sounds like it would smell.
And there's blood everywhere, and yeah.
Are they missing because someone was cleaning it up, or
No, when I say they're missing a quarter of each of them, like an arm and a shoulder, or or a good portion of the lower half of them. Yeah.
But it's not like it's missing. It's like it's on the ground over there.
No, it's missing.
Like
Oh, okay.
chomp.
Yeah, like
Like it's gone.
yeah,
Like someone walked off with it.
yeah, and
Suspicious.
the rest of the two humanoid creatures bled out in front of your apartment steps.
Well, obviously not just my apartment. There's other apartments in the building, so
Well, yeah, there's a fair section of the street now covered in blood.
Mm,
Uh,
nice.
so,
But it's reasonably sure that they weren't here for Antedna.
weren't here for what?
They were not here to murder Aunt Edna, the lovely old lady in 306.
Actually, for all Nala knows, Aunt Edna's the one that caused this problem. She may have called the
Yeah,
whole
the
thing.
306.
Yeah. To everybody else, she's a nice old lady, but you never know what she's really into. Uh, so, what do you do?
I'm like, I don't really have time. Maybe I'll find someone to run to the cops and tell them about this on my way to work.
You call the police.
You're pretty sure with the noises and the screams you heard earlier that probably a guard or two has been alerted by now. And you're
But
not and you're not going to walk past that much blood and two partial bodies without doing
Taking their
something.
stuff.
well, assuming that the guards are knowing, I head off to work.
You could like take their stuff.
Then my prints would be on everything. So no.
Um,
They don't have fingerprints in D&D.
but they do to a degree. Plus, it would be they'd be in they'd be bloody fingerprints, which wouldn't like look good for whoever did it.
Standing
So
there with a bunch
I
of
don't
bloody
judgmental.
stuff.
I skimper and scamper around the wood to make sure I don't step in it.
Right. You don't want your work shoes covered in blood, especially when you walk into the library. um, takes you about 10-15 minutes to go through the 3 blocks over to the library. Um, you get there and one of your um, fellow employees is standing by the door when you come in and goes, you must have not gotten the notice. There was a staff meeting an hour ago.
No, I did not get no notice.
Uh, yep, there was a staff meeting an hour ago.
Obviously, they didn't make sure I knew about it.
Well, whoever was handing out The written notices apparently missed one. There's gonna be a total restructure of the books in the library.
Okay. Is there a reason why?
Excuse me. Um, I assume, but they haven't said as of yet. They just want us to start moving books.
Okay.
Uh, they want us to start on the fourth floor and work our way down.
And where are we supposed to move these books to?
We're just supposed to put them in stacks because they're gonna change the number system. In
Not
my
the Dewey Decimal.
in my opinion, it's all a big mess, and they're just doing it to keep us busy.
Sounds like it. Only if they would pay us more, it would be worth it.
What? What now?
I said if they paid us more, it'd be worth it. But for what little we get, really?
Well, you're more than welcome to bring that up at the next staff meeting. So, you and your fellow employee head up to the fourth floor and just start taking books off shelves and piling them in large stacks on the floor. And this takes most of your morning until your lunch break happens. So while you're doing that and trying to figure out why in the world they're having you do that, we're going to go back over to the table at the end by the hearth where Lucid's food has just appeared. And Talith looks up because of the noise the waitress made putting the food down. Um, upon seeing the food, give me a constitution check.
How did I know that was gonna you were gonna say that? Oh, how did I know?
I got a 19.
11.
Well, you're lucid, you're fine. You're actually getting slightly hungry. Talith, you're able to keep it together well enough that you're not gonna vomit all over Lucid's food. But
But I am wondering how the hell he could be sitting there eating a whole freaking chicken this morning.
yeah,
And I just kind of.
yeah, 'cause isn't that more than what Lucid generally eats?
Yes.
So apparently the hangover has made him extra hungry for some reason. And
It was making all that money. Making all that money.
Oh yeah, selling all your seafood and such. See, that's where you got the extra money to pay for the extra room day instead of bringing your key back. You have all this extra money from selling your seafood.
Yep, I'm flush.
Hmm. So,
So I guess
well,
we should get this caravan on the move, right?
does Taylor even respond?
Kind of, kind of like, yeah, okay. Now look at him, I'm like, God, Lucy, you drank as much as I did last night. What the hell? Why are you so coherent right now?
Here, have some coffee.
And what's even more confusing for you is Lucid's a human, and
Right?
and you're a dragonborn that's like almost twice his size, and he's handling this a whole lot better than you are. So you're really confused at this point. So are the two of you going to go buy a couple of horses before you head off, or you just gonna leave the wagon?
Buy some camels, I guess. We're headed into the wasteland.
Belknap doesn't have a camel salesman.
Everywhere has a camel salesman if you look hard enough.
That would be in the kingdom to the south that they're going to war with.
Hmm. Horses it is.
Yeah.
Um, and we have that one girl to drive one of the wagons, the one we hired from the food stand.
Yeah, is she? Do you actually want her to go with you into this? Or,
She sounded like she wanted to come.
Yeah, I think she was willing to come, and the blacksmith wanted to come too.
well, yeah, we know. Uh, fact, that's where you need to head to let the blacksmith know that you're ready to go. Uh,
Well, let's find Connie and the blacksmith.
and while you're discussing all this, another bronze dragonborn walks into the inn, walks into the tavern part of the inn, and sees the two of you.
Not before we see her.
Now, to her, Lucid is just another human, but,
Yeah, we all look alike.
well, except you are wearing uh, robes to the Storm Lord, um, but other than that, she's not concerned as far as, you know, you're a human cleric, that's good, but,
I'm basically Thor.
yeah, well, except your god's not helping you out much. Uh,
I have a great relationship with my god.
but you do see the other bronze dragonborn. Are you still head down on the table? Or you? at least setting up now.
I'm just sort of like, propped up on the table.
So, and through half open eyes, you basically see your cousin walk walk into the tavern. So what did the two of you do?
It's not racist if I ask if they know each other, right?
So do you ask if we know each other?
Yeah. Hey, do you guys know each other?
Two
And
two bronze dragonborns in one tavern at one time.
so I kind of sit up more and I look and I kind of look again and say, actually, I do.
You
And
can't just
Nala?
assume that we all know
uh,
each other.
Talia?
Oh,
Nala? Is that
actually,
you?
Yes, it's
I,
me, Nala.
I haven't seen you forever.
I haven't seen you like since my family moved to this country or this kingdom.
What are you doing here? Oh, you just
Remember
said you
when we
live here.
moved when I was 15 and you were 11? My family moved here.
Oh,
and Nala is wearing what you would expect somebody that works in a library to
mhm.
wear. She's wearing scribe robes and such like that. So,
so
which is
funny story. We're about to go on a suicide mission. Want to come?
This is a mission. Not really.
great
It's
way
almost certain death.
great way to put that.
right.
Uh, no, I don't want to go on a suicide mission.
There's low chance of reward, and uh, it's probably not something you want anyways.
Actually, you don't know about the reward other than the box you're wanting to get done. Um,
Right, which is not something I'm gonna say.
and
So I whispered to my cousin, I said, "What are you guys getting out of this mission?"
Lucid, give me an intelligence check.
Drags, man, we're getting drags out of this mission. Intelligence, so -1.
Oh god.
I got a 9. I got a 9.
You're a cleric and you have a -1 on your intelligence. Okay.
Oh,
That's not
Intelligence
good.
is my jump stat.
Little DM hint, there should never be a dump stat because you don't know when you're ever going to use it. Um,
Well, I had one bad stat.
yeah.
What do you want me to do?
You should not put it in intelligence. That's what.
Should, should,
Okay, I'll put it in Constitution next time.
you should always put your worst stat in charisma because
charisma.
it doesn't matter how you look. So, uh,
And if I have two bad stats, I put one in charisma and one in dex.
What would I do with these wavy locks?
well, pretty soon they're gonna be covered in blood and body parts. So, are they really gonna look all that good? Uh,
Not my blood and body parts.
so,
Maybe, maybe not.
so, are you gonna invite your cousin to sit down?
Yeah.
Alright, comes and sits down. And I go whisper in her ear, "What are you getting out of this?"
Well, actually, we're not getting a whole lot because whatever reward there is, we actually owe to a sea dragon. So,
To sea
Hey,
dragons, huh?
by the way, have you told Lucid that?
Yeah,
Because
he was there at the time.
so
Don't worry, Connie. That didn't include you. You weren't part of the crew yet. I'm sure it's fine.
actually, you don't know what is there because it's a place you've never been before.
It's a place no one's ever been and come back to,
Well,
that we know of.
they
We're not
haven't
saying anything.
they haven't come back completely. Let's put it that way.
Completely, huh?
And the guy you tried to talk to in the end never said anything about treasure or any of that. So,
You know what? No one has mentioned treasure. That means there must be tons of it.
in fact, the guy you tried to talk to at the end didn't mention a whole lot of anything when you talked to him. So,
Except for bad weather
yeah, yeah,
and things with teeth. I think he
right,
did say something about that.
The teeth,
Fins
the
of teeth.
teeth, so many teeth.
Knock him out. You'll be saved.
yeah. So, the waitress sees a third person at the table and comes over, drops a menu in front of you, says, would you like a drink of any kind?
Um, I'll take some rum
For,
with a Coke,
no,
For
and I will take a
breakfast?
raw. I'll take a raw steak.
don't know that D&D has Coke. Uh, don't know that they have soda of any kind, actually. But she says the rum I can get you. And you want a raw steak.
Yep.
Is there anything else you want to go with that?
Nope.
Okay. I will be right back with your rum. And she goes off to take the order into the kitchen, st- stops back at the bar, and brings you a tankard of rum. So, what do you guys talk about? What do you tell her and what do you not tell her?
Well, I mean, you should probably tell her, what this mission we're on is, and that we're supposed to, find the this crown for the wizard in the wastelands. But
Well, welcome to the
we,
crew. We're so glad you're starting with this today. So you've been hired for a simple mission. We just need you to come with us and carry some bags, maybe hit something once or twice.
Maybe it's something with.
I'll carry my own bags. You carry your own bags.
And the hitting something once or twice is something that's completely foreign to you because you work in a library and you don't
right.
you don't normally go around hitting things.
What's this hitting things?
Remember back when you had siblings and you used to beat the crap out of them? Kind of like that, but not as nice.
Oh, when I used to hit my cousin.
Yeah, she knows about hitting things.
Yes, but it's been a long time and now
Yeah.
you're talking about doing it with weapons and such.
It's like riding a bike, it'll all come back.
Okay.
It's like riding a horse, it'll all come back.
Riding a
And
bike. What's a bike?
Right? What's a bug?
It's
And
like riding the peasants. It'll all come back.
I don't think dragonborns ride bikes.
I gotta see what this bike thing's about.
no, I I just had a really funny picture in my head. You know, you know the really old style bikes with the big front wheel,
Yeah.
and put
Yeah.
a drag, put a bronze dragonborn on top of one of those. Be hilarious. Just the picture would
All
be
right.
hilarious.
Soon computers will be that good. You can be like, I want a picture of a gold dragonborn riding on a bicycle with a giant front wheel, and it'll just draw you that.
Now you'll get this. You'll get this red flashing warning like, what the hell are you talking? No.
Caution, artwork
It's
may
like,
cause seizures.
it's like I, it's like I'm a computer. I don't do that.
It's like virus, virus, virus.
So,
Computer systems actually rebelled that day.
and it was all your fault.
And that's how Mike started Skynet.
Yay. So, the waitress brings you your steak and said if you guys need anything, just yell. Um, so, you still have to go find the blacksmith and Connie.
Didn't even have them warm that up for you.
Nope.
In fact, does Lucid know where Connie's living currently?
We talked about that one. I think I know where it's at.
Okay. So hopefully you can go retrieve her. And,
She was supposed to meet me here this morning. Like, I'm surprised she's not here.
well,
I'm gonna go see what's up.
you stayed in bed for hours. She probably got here and then was like, I guess he ain't showing up. You stayed in bed for 3 hours longer than you were supposed to.
Lies. Lies. 7 o'clock right now.
No, it's actually noon right now. Um,
Can't come at me like that with like the reality of time.
so Nala has not said either way whether she wants to do
I
this or
don't
not.
know. I mean, if I get paid something, maybe more than what I'm getting paid now, maybe.
You can keep half of the treasure we find.
Oh, so my cousin gets half and I get half.
No, that was Connie's idea.
Well,
um,
after Connie gets her half, then she can have her half, and then I'll take the half that's left. We'll, it'll be good.
and the sea monster will eat the four of you.
We're gonna kill the sea monster with our box of like explosives.
No, you have to deal with the sea monster before you get the box, not after.
Or we just delay because it was around a 2 month time limit with the sea monster, so we just take longer to get back. The sea monster destroys our ship and goes away, and we buy a new ship. Call it good. We don't have to deal with the sea monster anymore.
That is one way of doing it, yeah.
I like
No.
a positive attitude though.
What now?
We'll fight the sea serpent on its own terms, or mine.
Well, you did attack the sea monster already, so um, now you're thinking about this, and what's going back and forth in your brain is you can either do this or you can go back to the library and stack lots of books. So, which thing do you really want to do?
I guess I'll join them.
You do, however, have to tell the people at the library you're leaving. You can't just disappear. um,
Oh, why not?
yeah, take a 2 month lunch break. I don't think so.
I've done it before.
Yeah.
I just up and disappear and don't say anything to anybody.
Were you employed after your lunch break?
You know, if they don't notice you're missing for 45 minutes, that would look bad on them. So it's really unlikely to get reported if you're already missing for that long.
So basically, if you're gone for 2 months and nobody knows.
Like, where the hell did she go? She went to lunch and never came back.
So, so you guys finish your lunch in a fairly leisurely fashion.
I have my face like inside of this chicken.
Yeah,
Is he
yeah,
always like that, cousin?
Uh, no, I actually have not seen him do that before.
yeah. It's a contest between the roasted chicken and the bloody raw steak. It's like,
You know, those roast chicken oils, they're so good for your skin.
Uh huh.
and Taylor, give me a Constitution check,
I
please.
knew you were gonna do that. I was waiting for that. You're an evil, evil DM.
And I haven't even started yet. Come on.
Fuck.
What?
Nat one. Oh,
Okay.
so you
Fountain
and
of
my
vomit.
you and the types are both against me.
Uh, Actually, I have to make another roll here. Uh, okay. You, you, upon seeing this bloody steak and Lucid's face stuck in a chicken, you, your stomach just can't deal with it anymore. And so, as much as you might try, you can't keep your stomach from throwing up. And the thing is, Lucid doesn't see this coming because his face is stuffed into a chicken. And you basically, Lucid's robes, cleric robes from the Stormlord, are now covered in dragonborn alcohol vomit. Lucid, does this, do you even notice this? Do you even look up from the chicken you are eating?
I don't know. How good is the chicken?
Roll me a d20 and tell me what you get.
11.
Eh, it's pretty good. You've had better, but it's alright.
Uh, I guess I noticed, but not much.
Okay. Taylor, what do you do? Do you call the waitress over for help, or what do you do?
Um, I don't know if I need the waitress to help, but I'll go up to the bar and ask for like a bunch of rags so I can clean up.
Okay.
And I'm like apologizing to Lucid.
I stand up from my chicken without a word and I just storm away from the table. And I go change into my pajamas and walk back upstairs.
Yeah, 'cause that's the only set of cleric robes you actually own.
So now I'm wearing a bathrobe.
Bathrobe.
Sewn by yourself out of scraps of material. 'Cause I don't think they had bathrobes back then. Uh,
It's my backup.
Now I'm suddenly picturing Lucid in like this Hugh Hefner robe.
says property of the Stormlord on the back between the shoulders.
Yes. It's exactly what they like.
And now you're thinking about what it's gonna be like to go into the wasteland like that. Uh,
I drape my
Better,
armor over it and I'm like, good to go.
you gotta wash your robes. Gotta wash your robes.
I give them to the hotel to clean. I'll be back.
the
I just
end.
keep a box for me.
I'll be back. Have these cleaned. You want to have them cleaned before you take off, so you have a pair of actual robes.
Well, if you can get them done that quickly, but we're leaving now.
well, well, you do have to collect uh, Varn and Connie, so you do have a little time. But you can ask the bartender if you want whether.
Yes. I asked the
Yes.
bartender if they can get them clean quickly.
And he says, well,
Got some good news and some bad.
it'll take me now that it's past lunch rush, it would take about an hour. I can get I can get my waitress to do it, but it's gonna cost you an extra gold to have her do it.
Sure, what's one more gold between friends? Or, like business owner and customer that you rip off.
Um, he
I will give Lucid the gold for that because like this is totally my fault. So
Oh,
and you figure that by the time you collect the other two and get things ready to go, it'd probably take about an hour. So he's like, if you come back here in an hour, we'll probably have them ready for you.
All right. I think that'll be right when we're coming back, anyways.
Uh, so the three of you, I assume, head out the door. Um, Lucid and Talith go to collect Connie and Varn, and you head back to the library to tell them that you are no longer a library employee.
I quit.
And
I'm
then I
not
go get
doing
my
this.
stuff from my house or
What?
my apartment. And then I go get my stuff from my apartment.
Well,
I was
yeah,
just
that's true.
imagining that.
What, Patrick?
I was just imagining that scene from Wanted where he quits with the keyboard across the face.
Like, I've stacked too many books. It was more than I could handle.
And you weren't paying me enough.
I'm out of here.
There's no way we're going off Dewey Decimal. I quit.
And you tell them you're quitting, and they all just sort of look at you like, what the hell?
I'm quitting to go on a mission to the wasteland.
It's like, it's like you were just leaving for lunch. What is this quitting thing?
Oh, I caught up with my cousin and she asked me to go on a quest with her.
And they all laugh. They're like, you've got to be kidding. It's safer in the library. You've got to be kidding.
Is that a
Yeah, but
common
it doesn't pay
occurrence in
enough.
this world?
It doesn't pay me enough. If I could like make more and be able to survive and give money to my cousin's family,
It's like,
then maybe.
yeah, they don't pay you, but you don't ever run the risk of dying.
There is that.
the
Ah,
employer,
there's the chance. There's that chance, but oh well.
the other employees are like, it's safe and cozy in here. Are you kidding? uh, so you walk out of the library and head back to your apartment. By the time you get back to your apartment to collect your stuff, the partial bodies are moved, but there's still a lot of blood in the street.
Yeah, and I don't need to be living where there's blood on the street all the time.
Well, no, this is a singular first time experience as far as that.
It only needs to happen once. Organized crime is a big deal.
Apparently, it was more traumatic than I thought. So you go in and start packing your stuff in your pack. And while you're doing that, uh, Lucid and Taylor head out to go find Connie and Varn, the blacksmith. Do you do this together or do you split up?
Let's
Uh,
split up, gang.
yeah, I'll tell Lucid to go find Connie, and I'll go to the blacksmith.
Oh yeah, you just want to be alone with that blacksmith, and I know it. But who could begrudge you that time? Have fun.
I'll plead the fifth.
Given the way your stomach and your head feels currently, that's the last thing on your mind.
No, you don't need up.
Fact, you're
Go
wondering
lay down. Go
if
lay
you're
down.
going to
Go
make
lay
it
down.
there and back.
Oh, oh, go lay down. You do not need to be up on mama. Go. Go lay down.
But the thought of a date after this whole wasteland thing, if you survive, that does vaguely cross your mind. Uh, So you go off to the blacksmith. It only takes you a few minutes. You're not that far. And he is sitting, when you walk up, he is sitting on basically a stump with his pack waiting for you. And he sees you in uh, his his first words to you after saying hello is, "You really look like crap. What happened? What happened to you last night?"
I drank a little more than I should have, I guess.
Apparently, um, and he picks up his pack and stands up. And he is a good foot taller than you are. And I've told you before, he's a black dragonborn. And being a blacksmith, he has muscles on top of muscles, and he's just huge, basically. Um, and the two of you start heading back toward the inn. Now, Lucid heads toward what I would politely call the rougher side of town. Um, the houses are a little less well to do. Um, the yards around them are a little less kept up.
Oh, it's where the poors live.
Well, you know that Connie told you that, you know, she doesn't have money. That's
Right, right.
that's why she did the seafood job for you.
That's presumably why she wants to take the high death rate job.
Right. Yeah. She's like, it could kill me, but if I survive, it could set me up for life. So I'll take the risk. Um, and as you're walking down the road, you see Connie out front of one of the houses working in the yard.
I'm like, oi, Connie, sorry we're late.
Uh, she spins around. She spins around and goes, "Yeah, we are. I was over at the inn this morning. Apparently, you didn't get up."
Apparently there was alcohol in that alcohol.
Yeah, there generally is. So, are you guys still headed out or what?
I don't know. Do you know any good horse thieves?
Eh, there is a stable down on the edge of town. You could probably buy a horse.
Well, we're looking to do that and then head out of town. You still coming?
I was waiting for you. I
Well,
thought
that's
you
fun.
were. I thought you died or something.
You know, it was touch and go there for a minute.
Yeah. You gonna tell her that you were attacked by a whole chicken and vomited
Yeah,
on for lunch?
I got into a fight with a chicken. It almost didn't go too well.
Well, considering Talith was helping the chick, was it was kind of rough there at the end. Um, but she's like, "Give me a second, I'll go grab my pack," and runs inside and grabs what's left of her stuff and heads back to meet you at the yard. So we headed to the stables and then back to the inn.
That's the idea. And then I guess we head to the stables,
Yeah.
buy some horses, and now we show back up at the inn.
How many horses do you want to buy?
75.
75?
You don't have the gold for that.
All settled for 5?
Okay. How much gold do you guys have? And who's keeping track of it?
6,023. And that's just my goal.
How did you end up with 6,023?
When we got the gold off the ship, like this is a lot of the gold that we stole from the castle keep.
Well, yeah,
Thing.
that's part of the. Well, I guess 6,000 gold, you would need a wagon to carry that. Although two dragonborns could probably do it, but a wagon would be easier. Um,
Just kind of keep it in my pocket.
5 horses are gonna be 75. About 300 gold.
I'm sorry. Do you have like 5 giant donkeys instead?
Oh my god.
Uh,
That donkey doing push cart or pull a cart.
well, 300 are for, 5 good horses. What do you need them for? The
Well,
sta-
it's just a journey into the wasteland. You want to rent them? You could
the
rent them to us. How about you rent them to us?
the sta- the stable hand is like, what are they? Are you going to be riding them, or what are they going to be doing?
I think we were gonna have them pull a couple wagons.
Well, we have a few draft horses that are meant to pull wagons.
Okay.
Um, they don't. They're not the best for riding, but they are also cheaper.
Cheaper sounds like what we're going for. I'll give you 200 gold. Not a penny more.
For I can do that, but we only have 4 of them.
All right. I'll take one regular horse too.
How many wagons are you trying to pull?
2?
That would only take 2 horses per wagon.
Cool. That
Uh,
was the plan.
Unless you want an extra one in case you have to eat one of them. Uh,
Well, I figured I'd want one to ride.
oh, so Lucid's gonna be riding the entire time.
I'll ride shotgun.
Okay, I'll give you 4 draft horses and 1 riding horse for 200 gold.
All right, here's 200 gold.
Plus, plus you could be nice and not make Connie walk the entire time too, but
She can ride on a wagon.
that's up to you. So you now have you and Connie now bring back 5 horses, and you're standing in front of the inn as Talith, Varn, and Nala are standing.
I guess we hook up 2 of the wagons and get ready to roll out of town.
Yeah. And and being slightly after 8:30, this is a good spot to take a 20-minute break.
Don't have to tell me twice.
And
All right.
we will be back in 20 minutes to see these guys head off into the wastelands and see how long they lived.
We're gonna die.
Or
So,
will we? You'll never know. All the suspense.
so we'll see you back in 20 minutes.
See you then.
In our lifetime, do you think you'll see the dollar like go up in value? Nope.
What you drinking, Mike?
Right.
Hmm?
I said right.
Right to you too. All gone. All gone.
Fireworks like crazy tonight.
What? Doing fireworks?
It's SeaWorld. They do them every night.
I was gonna say, are you sure there's not just gang wars going on outside your window? People shooting at each other.
No,
Some nights I wonder.
no,
I
that
thought I was getting like bombed last night.
no, that would be my apartment.
Well, that's true.
I'm
Well, we
near
don't know.
Miramar.
There could be Patrick's too.
I'm near Miramar Air Force Base. So like at 2 in the morning, they did like a flyover, and I thought I was being nuked.
Oh God.
Yeah, that would probably be a little startling.
I legit Googled, was there an explosion in San Diego? I'm still not sure.
It was the aliens finally counterattacking.
That's what it sounded like.
Knowing your luck, that's probably what it was.
So, so guys, what do you think so far?
I'm excited to see this wasteland.
We're gonna die. Of course, at this point, my character probably wouldn't care whether she did or not. But
Ah, death. So sweet.
You know, Lucid could fix this for you if he was of a mind to.
yeah, he's probably not too happy with me right now.
I'm not that kind of cleric.
So, what kind of cleric are
I'm the kind of cleric that makes things worse, not the kind that makes
Okay.
them better.
Oh, that's encouraging.
Yeah, and your your bookish library cousin doesn't know what she's getting into, and yeah.
There's two kinds of clerics in this world. One cleric wants to lift us all up and make us better people. And Lucid is not that kind of cleric.
Ben, Ben was lucid. Yeah, great.
Some clerics just want to see the world burn. And from what I
Apparently,
understand, that's completely in line with the religion, right?
Don't
Lucid
know.
I can't see Mike's face, but I assume he's scowling at me.
Lucid is the type of cleric who thinks once you burn her, the best thing to do is burn her to the ground and start over.
And
But
Mike is starting to freeze up again.
but and we've been doing so well up to now.
Yeah.
So actually, we're gonna jump back in the game in about 2 minutes.
Your ISP is fired.
So
We're
um,
gonna have to get you a whole new internet.
yeah, well, I need a whole new job so I can afford really fancy internet. But Cox glitched more than T-Mobile does, so I was paying a lot for that. So
Yeah, I don't know why, because I don't have any issue with Cox.
it's the
His
neighborhood.
apartment wiring is so bad. I can see it from here. Like
Oh,
that flicker just now? Totally. You
so
can tell.
the apartment I live in was wired by two monkeys and a blind squirrel. So, you know what do
You're
you?
using DC 35 cable instead of DC 6, and it just doesn't work.
So yeah, I think the blind squirrel was in charge of the internet. So you know,
Probably.
so
What you doing, pup pup? What you doing?
but we're gonna jump
What you
back
doing?
in the game
Yes,
in
wag your tail.
five,
Cat tail
four,
over there.
three,
Where's my
two,
cat tail?
and one. Welcome back to this episode of Fallen Dragons, episode 23. Um, as we left our group before break, they had just um, gathered all together in front of the inn. We now have Lucid, Taylor, Nala, Varn, the um, blacksmith, and Connie, the young girl that Lucid hired during the festival.
I needed someone to drive the second wagon into the wasteland of doom.
Oh, and she did a good job with your shrimp, so, you know. She's probably crazy, but what the hell. Uh,
Hey kid, you look like you have a death wish.
and she's like, that would be similar to yours. yeah. So, you guys, do you have all the stuff you want to take with you?
Yeah, I do.
Uh,
yep.
do you guys put all your packs in the second wagon so you're now lugging them around, or are you just lugging all your stuff with you?
I'm putting it in the wagon.
Yeah, I'll
That
put
is
my pack in the wagon, but keep my weapons on me.
Yeah,
Well,
keep the
yeah.
weapons on me, but the pack in the wagon.
that's definitely why I got a wagon, but I also have a horse. So saddlebags?
That works too. Um, so you guys head toward the western gate of the city, and just outside the western gate, you can see mountains in the distance, capped with snow. Even though this is on the western edge of the continent, the mountains are high enough to have snow. Did any of you consider cold weather gear by chance?
Yeah, we bought some of that.
Hmm.
We have it in our bags.
Did Connie, the dragonborn, the blacksmith, or Nala think about it?
I did.
Well, the
Yeah, I don't know about the
blacksmith's
other two.
local, so probably the blacksmith's thought of it
Well,
and
it
then disregarded it because he's a dragonborn.
it doesn't snow in Belknap, but by the time you get into the mountain passes to the west, there'll be snow.
Hey, Connie, you have cold weather gear, right?
What's that?
What's that? It's gonna be cold. Okay, well, freeze. No, we should buy you some if you don't have any.
You can stop at a shop before you head out of the gates of the city.
It's called a jacket. You've heard of one before, right?
And
And a sweatshirt and sweatpants and
like
You probably haven't heard of sweatpants.
she's like, you see the clothes I'm wearing? Does it look like I have fancy cold weather gear?
Okay, well, let's get you something fancy. It's called a sweater.
So you guys go into a shop that's near the western gates that the guards mentioned to you. And Connie is looking through all the different furs and such like that. Varn, however, is standing there going, I'm not even sure they make stuff big enough to fit me.
Figure get him a blanket, make it into a poncho.
And this elderly elf lady walks out, says, hello, my name is Celia. What can I get you? And Varn goes, do you make cold weather gear in my size? And she says, no, I'm sorry, we don't. And while she's talking to Varn, Connie picks out this um, rich uh, black fur set with almost a bluish sheen to it.
Oh, that looks expensive.
The old lady says, yes, that's panther fur. and
Huh?
Connie holds it up and it looks like it fits. And the old lady says, "That if you want that, that'll be 8 gold." And she looks around at Lucid and Taylor like, how are we paying for this?
And I guess I pay for it. I'll give the shopkeeper the gold.
Um, but Varn says, "Well, you don't have cold weather gear my size. Would you happen to have a blanket that I can buy?" And she says, "I'll go look in the back." And she disappears in the back for a second, comes back out with this um, what honestly looks like brown bear fur, and it's quite large, and hands it to him. And Varn says, "Well, this should work fine." The old lady is like, "Well, I'll give you that for a gold. It's been in the back for quite a while." And he reaches into his pouch and hands her a gold. And he says, "I think that's all we need right now." So she wraps up Connie's cold weather gear, and Varn just takes the blanket with him. And they walk back outside. And so he says, "I think we have all we need now if you guys are ready to go." As he says that, he looks down, and the horses, the draft horses, are just sort of standing there going, "We're just here." And the riding horse is a tad bit nervous because it's looking in front of it and seeing the mountains with the snow, and it's, yeah, lived in Belknap all its life. Yeah, the snow is a weird
I give
thing.
treats to all the horses, little cats, all of them, baby cats.
Yeah.
Eat into the horse's mouth. And
So,
then I guess we finally set off towards the waste.
yep. Is Lucid riding the riding horse, or are you just,
Yes.
so you're on the, you climb on the riding horse? Um, Connie jumps in the front of the second wagon. Where is Talith and, or where are Talith and Nala?
Well,
Are
I'll just
are they
walk beside the wagons.
Yeah, just walk beside the wagon for now.
okay?
I give Connie my crossbow if she doesn't have one.
No, Connie does not have weapons short of a
Connie,
dagger.
this is a crossbow.
Well,
Here's a crossbow.
she's seen them. She just doesn't own one. she she does have a dagger in her belt,
That changes today.
but
This
other
crossbow
than
is
that,
yours
this will come in handy if the wagon's attacked. So you guys head off.
I can shoot fire out of my eyeballs, so I don't need it as much anymore.
You
she
just shoot
says, I,
fireballs out of your eyes.
she says, I want to see you do that. Just,
Yeah, when the wagon's attacked in a couple minutes.
she, she says, just don't do it toward the wagon, okay?
10-4.
Yeah. Don't want to burn down the wagon or me, by the way.
Yeah, I can't burn you up until you pay me back for those clothes.
Right. Yeah. She's like, oh, knowing you, I'll end up saving your life at some point. Yeah.
Well, I mean, hedge your bets, hedge your bets.
um, and you guys walk for the next 3 hours. Um, and it's actually a pretty decent dirt road up to the foothill base of the mountains where the you start encountering a little bit of snow at the bottom.
I time to put the chains on.
Yeah.
Shane.
So if you stop here, are any of you gonna put on your cold weather gear or what?
I
While
Yes.
am.
while you
Yes, of course.
while you give the horses a little bit of a break before you head into the mountain, what what do all of you want to do?
I look around where we are and I try and find hot springs. Are there any?
Try and find a what?
Hot spring?
Give me an investigation roll.
2.
No,
I'm
you don't.
gonna do it. I'm gonna see if I can find this. 16.
Mm, you you search around for a bit. There doesn't seem to be anything like that here. Uh, the field is nice, but you don't notice anything like hot springs or anything like that.
No streams, no rivers.
Not not at this point in the mountain. There probably are as you get up higher, but not right here. I with that investigation roll, what I will tell you is you do notice a couple of more worn places that, that look like those are the paths that other people have taken to climb up into the mountains. There's two of them, one to your right and one to your left. And the one on the left seems a little bit less of an incline, a little less steep. So,
I tell them it's like there's two paths, and over here looks like a less of an incline.
Let's take the easier looking one since it's probably better for the wagon.
and
You know, the harder looking path's probably the easier path.
At least the safer. But you're right, the wagon.
um, and by now, all of you are in your cold weather gear, and um, Connie climbed back on the wagon seat, and Lucid climbs back onto the horse. Of the two,
Hey, better dressed than I've ever seen you.
says the this is more clothing than I've ever worn, uh, but it is warmer. So, um, are our two dragonborn gonna keep walking, or are you gonna jump in a wagon, or what are you gonna do?
I'll keep walking.
I mean, three dragonborns, but yeah,
Well, Varn is like, this isn't even an issue.
yeah, it just keeps on walking as well.
He's like, I haven't even worked up a sweat yet. By the way, he's strapped to the back of his, uh, strapped to his back. You can see out of the top of the blanket. There's a double bladed axe almost as tall as he is. He's like, if anybody jumps any of us, I'll just take its head off. So the group starts heading into the mountain passes. Um, the first hour, the first hour goes by fairly uneventfully, but it is getting to be late afternoon. So the sun is starting to edge down in the sky a bit because it's between 4 and 5 now.
I guess I switch places with Connie and ride in the wagon.
And Connie climbed up on the horse. Um, the horse is somewhat appreciative because Connie's a little bit lighter than you are. So, so it can carry her and climb a little easier.
Got to be able to ride if you're going to be an adventurer someday.
Yeah, that's true. Um, second hour goes by. By, by this time, it is definitely starting to edge toward sunset. So it's getting dark. And it also means the temperature's dropping a bit. it. Give me give me a perception check.
20 dirty.
What now?
20 total.
Okay. You look up from the wagon. You notice over the coming over the peak that's directly behind you. It looks like clouds are getting darker and heavier looking.
Here's some of that bad weather they mentioned.
Yep. You being a Stormlord cleric, are you planning to do anything with it?
I mean, not if it doesn't do anything with me first. I pray for nice weather.
Well, I don't think that would be as um, concrete as a divine intervention role. But um, give me a charisma check.
21?
Um, you you pray to the Stormlord, and the very second you finish that,
Rain, rain, go away. Come again another day.
a lightning bolt hits the hits a rock next to your wagon.
Guys, time to go.
But then you look up and you see the darker clouds moving away.
Still time to go. Strike while the iron's hot. The favor of the Stormlord.
Because he could have hit the center of the wagon you're in and melted you, but you are actually currently on decent terms with him.
Guys, I can't hear or see.
Well, yeah, that would be true. If a lightning bolt hit a rock that close to you, you'd probably have issues hearing, hearing and
Literally
or
all have a problem with hearing.
well, and the flash would Lucid wouldn't be seeing clearly for a bit. Um, but the draft horses keep going. They're like, what the hell? We're old. Who cares?
And Nala and I, being bronze dragonborns, are resistant to lightning damage
Yep,
anyways.
yep. I
So
grab
you,
the harness of or the edge of the uh rig of the for the horses and guide them so they don't fall over the edge.
well, this seems to be a fairly well used path. Um, why people would want to climb up into these mountains, you don't know, but seems to be used well enough. Um, and you keep going, and for about another hour, and then it does sunset truly hits. And up here in the mountains, it gets dark fairly quickly. Um, I need all of you, though, to give me perception checks.
10.
22.
14?
Oh, Lucid and Nala notice something.
13.
There, there seems to be a what looks like a used and abandoned campsite. Uh, a good 500 yards ahead of you.
Guys, this looks like a terrible place to camp. We should keep going.
I don't know, it looks fine to me.
It's obviously haunted.
Now that it's getting dark, do any of you light torches or create light sources or any of that? Are you
I use the light cantrip and I light my holy symbol.
okay? As you get closer to this, what is actually a campsite, you notice two things. It is abandoned,
What?
or at least at this point, nobody is there. You don't know whether they're returning or not. But the second thing you see makes you think maybe not. There are um, 5 fairly large but fairly picked clean bones laying near
You're
where the
breaking up.
Well, you're breaking up.
um, hopefully it'll get better in a second. There are 5 fairly picked clean bones scattered near the fire where the fire pit would have been.
Obviously haunted.
So what do you guys want to do?
I keep going.
So you're just gonna keep going. What are the
What do
rest?
you think, guys?
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready to call it a night. So, and I don't hold with this human superstition about hauntings and
Yeah,
stuff.
me either.
So,
Neither do I.
I'm gonna go make
As
you
as
500
Warren, what do you
down
think?
that way.
As
You
Warren,
guys,
what do you think?
you guys enjoy the haunted fun campsite.
What, Patrick?
Warren,
I'm gonna go make a campsite 500 feet over there. If you guys want to use the haunted campsite, be my guest.
Varm, what do you think?
Uh, Varn thinks he can kill anything, whether it's alive, dead, or otherwise. So, um, but if Lucid is going to make a separate campsite across from the rest of you, Connie will go over and help him do that. The the three dragonborns, however, can hang out in this much larger campsite. And Lucid and Connie are successful in making a working campsite, even though they end up doing it mostly in the dark. But it works. However, you have a peaceful night till about 4 in the morning. It's just at that time before sunrise that it's still dark, but it's starting to get a little lighter around the edges.
You're breaking up there again.
Yeah. Um, and you hear this fairly deep guttural roar from you judge from about 100 yards ahead of you. So what are you guys gonna do?
I'll grab my weapons to make sure they're close to me in case I need to use them.
Honey, watch the wagon. I gotta go see whatever it is. I guess I kind of sneak over there.
Grabs my swords.
Okay. Nala, do you just stay with your cousin, or when you guys see when you guys see Lucid wander off, what do you do?
Well, as Lucid is kind of a puny human in of himself, I guess I kind of feel like I should go with him because,
Yeah, we follow him.
Barnes says I'll stay with Connie in the wagons since Connie's staying behind. Um,
I got a 5 for stealth if it helps.
that's not very.
oh, yeah, that
So, so you're crunching through the snow with your armor um, and you see Nala and Talith come up behind you. And
Sorry, I didn't.
Yeah, for some reason we're having more technical difficulties right now. Um, and we did so well up to the break. So I don't know what's going on now. Um, but we're almost
Yeah, I don't
done.
think we.
So we're gonna finish this hopefully. Um,
I say probably shouldn't do a fight with you breaking up like that.
Well, we don't have time anyway. We only have half an hour more to go.
um,
Should we roll for stealth too, just to see if we're as unstealthy as Lucid is?
I don't know that it would do any good because Lucid has already blown that theory. So, um,
Guys, it's over here.
and when you hear Lucid say that, you hear this second, even louder roar because you're now closer to it. Not only are you moving toward it, it is now moving toward you. And you head around, the three of you head around a cliff facing very slowly. And what you see as you head around this cliff face is, for lack of a better term, a hut, but an extremely large one.
Blasted.
Eh, And what you see standing out in front of this hut are a female bugbear and looks like two humans strung up on a wooden rack. The type of rack you hang fish to dry on, the crossbar with the two legs. And these two humans are tied by the neck to this rack. And it's tall enough that they're dangling in the air by the neck of this rack.
I hope you're ethically sourced your humans.
And
Are they alive or dead? Or can we tell?
they're alive. Um, you're assuming, since you saw this scene, that the roar you heard earlier is the male bugbear counterpart. And you're assuming that the two humans are what it went hunting for. So these humans are about to be dinner. So what do you guys want to do?
I guess we mostly kill the humans and move on. It's kind
Do
of sniper rifle.
so so your so your idea is just to kill them.
Kill your own race. Okay.
Stop their suffering, you know.
No,
And
we should rescue them. There's probably a reward.
Possible. So are you guys going to move up on them, or are you
What
just
language does Bugbear speak?
bugbear? I do believe they might speak common. I'm not sure.
What about Sylvan?
No, they would. Bugbears do not speak elf. No.
Why would they speak elf?
If you want to try and talk to it, you got like 3 seconds. Those people are choking.
Yeah, they are sort of kicking their legs and flailing their arms, and yeah, they're not doing very well.
Yeah, it says they speak common and goblin.
Okay. So what now?
How close to the cliff is the bugbear?
Does anybody speak goblin?
Mm, you walked around the cliff, and this hut is sort of tucked away under a overhang sort of thing.
So there's no ready and easy cliff?
No.
Fine.
If you were thinking about charging them and sort of knocking her over, no.
Well, I can like shoot people 10, 20 feet.
Now, if you did that, you would slam her against the cliff face, but you wouldn't
Why are you
like
breaking up?
you wouldn't like knock her over a cliff.
You're breaking up, Mike.
Yeah, there's not much I can do about it.
What did you say though?
What?
What did you say?
I said if you pushed her back 20 feet, you would slam her into the side of the cliff. You wouldn't like knock her over a cliff, but it would do damage to her if you slammed her into the side of the cliff. But
Gotcha.
about that time, you hear another roar. and her male companion comes walking back into the front yard of the hut.
Oh, great. There's two of them.
They're the male and female pair.
So I guess we go to initiative or.
It's quarter to 10 my time.
Ah,
Do you guys? I'm assuming you're just gonna want to leave it here till next week
Probably.
because
We don't have time for
because the bugbear combat would probably take half an hour or more.
Right.
So uh, we'll leave it here until next week, and and we'll see if our intrepid adventurers can survive their first combat.
we should be able to survive a bugbear attack.
I
They're
Well,
not
hope
very
so. I
they're
hope
not
so.
very intelligent, so
It would suck to die this early in our
they're
the,
not very
mission.
to
intelligent.
death on the
So.
way here, like by myself. I think we
Yeah.
can take it.
this is the first real combat that Nala's ever been in, though. And it also begs the question, you have the opportunity for reinforcements. You know, Connie and Varn are still. It would leave the wagons unattended and unprotected, but y- you do have reinforcements if necessary. So
At
keep
least Barn, we could leave Connie to guard the wagons because I can't imagine she'd be much help in a combat anyway.
But
true.
more practical.
She does have um, Lucid's crossbow.
Just wait. Eventually, she'll be a paladin for the Stormlord.
So, and I'm sorry once again we had a little bit of technical difficulty in the second half there. Um,
We're replacing your ISP.
yeah. Um, be- believe me, it was better than last week. We had to scrap
Yeah.
last week completely. Um, so, what did you guys think of tonight's game?
Good.
It realistically portrays how long it takes to get your friends out of a tavern.
Yeah, really.
I'm just glad we're still alive at this point.
It's amazing that Talith wasn't crawling out of the tavern
Oh my
this
god.
morning. But
Yeah, like I say, you want to mess with this hungover dragonborn.
especially after she threw up on Lucid, it's like,
Yeah.
ah. But,
Surprised Lucy didn't knock her out.
well, don't think that was going to happen, but she definitely was not feeling good at that point.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Drunk, angry, hungover dragonborn starts bar fight. I can just see it. and instead of going off to the wasteland, you end up in the local jail or something
Right.
for
No jail can hold me.
for for the bar fight. Fact, but you're not the one arrested. They mistakenly arrest Lucid for starting the whole thing. And then you have to do a divine intervention with the Storm Lord to get you out.
Hey, Storm Daddy, I'm gonna need bail money.
Yeah, right, yeah. He's like, nah, I don't think so.
I can't do your will if you leave me in the jail.
So,
Or at least burn it down.
it's like, where's the lightning strikes when I need them? um, but so next week we will start off with combat, and if you survive that, you will probably make it over the mountains actually into the wasteland next week,
Well,
which
we
is
should see if the bugbear talk to bugbear and see if they want to join us.
Recruit them.
which making it to the wastelands, even though that's what you're supposed to do, may not be the thing you actually want to do. But we'll see how that goes. So, anybody else have anything to add before we uh, cut this off?
Nope, I'm good.
Be sure and look for Robin's short story anthologies on Amazon. Um, Follow us on Discord and Facebook and all of our social media, which I will put up the card for that here in a second.
Hey,
So,
young lady.
so
Hey,
you
young
can
lady. Hey, young lady.
write it all down and follow us everywhere. And with that, I guess we will hopefully see you next week. And these
See you
three,
next time.
See you
the,
next time. Good night.
and hopefully these three will survive.
But probably not.
Not if I have much to do with it. Uh, but we'll see how the dice roll and go from there. So we'll see you next week. Bye.